Deeper clues that you're missing. How bomber carried out the attack. Big revelations on the blast suspect. Top focus on India first.
5 days after the terror attack, the blast at the Rameshwaram Cafe in Bengaluru. No arrests just yet. The National Investigation Agency has put out a 10 lakh rupee bounty that leads to the arrest of a man in a cap and a mask that has become the face of the attack in India's IT hub. I'm Shiv, this is India First. Let's get you straight to the top stories. Bengal fight escalates. Prime Minister Modi meets Sandesh Khali survivors, accuses Mamata government of shielding the main accused. Mamata hits back, points at BJP's track record on cases involving women. West Bengal CID hands over Sheikh Shah Jahan to the CBI after protecting him for over 50 days. The Central Investigating Agency will now probe the ED team attack case, after which Sheikh Shah Jahan went into protective hiding. Big buzz over Amethi and Rai Bareli fight in the Lok Sabha. Congress leaders claim Rahul Gandhi will fight from Amethi. Priyanka Gandhi's posters come up in Rai Bareli. IT hub Bengaluru's water crisis worsens. Residents queue up for water as bore wells dry up. Rationing of water begins. Karnataka government vows action. Stalin Jr. faces the heat again for his Sanatan slander. Madras High Court rebukes Udaynidhi, says equating Sanatan Dharma to HIV is divisive and against constitutional principles, but throws out the petition against him. It was last Friday, 5 days ago, on the 1st of March, when an improvised explosive device shattered the peace of Bengaluru and the nation. It was detonated at Bengaluru's very popular Rameshwaram Cafe in Whitefield. At least 10 people were injured, 2 of them seriously. But 5 days on, and there is still no trace or even any known clue of who the bomber really is. In this India Today special investigation, the first of a series through the week, our open source intelligence team decodes the CCTV images of the bomber, the man in a cap and a mask whose face is now on wanted posters across Bengaluru and across the country. Take a look at this exclusive report by India Today's Ankit Kumar.
Take a good look. Examine these images closely. What do you see? Beyond a masked man planting an explosive device at Bengaluru Cafe, there are some deeper clues that you're probably missing. Despite being recorded from 5 different camera angles, the individual in question consistently maintains a forward-facing gaze, never once turning to the left, right or above. There is no coincidence. Probe agencies are now considering the possibility that the individual, now the chief suspect in the Rameshwaram Cafe blast, may have received specialized training to avoid detection despite presence of multiple security camera in the vicinity of the restaurant that was hit by an IED attack last week. But that's not all. The bomber displayed a calculated awareness of surveillance, most likely faking phone usage both upon entering and exiting the cafe. Adding to his calculated act, the Bengaluru bomber can be seen checking the time on his watch while ostensibly holding a phone in the same hand. Arriving via a passenger bus, he lingers at the bus stop for some time before proceeding to his target, Rameshwaram Cafe in Bengaluru's Whitefield. There was no coincidence, but a strategic lesson learned from the 2022 Bengaluru blast, where an IED detonated prematurely, likely due to abrupt movement of an auto rickshaw. Speaking of similarities, the crime scene evidence reveals striking similarities in the utility items used to create the IED in both incidents.
बेंगलोर में साल 2014 में चर्च गेट के पास भी एक कैफे के पास धमाका हुआ था। जो खुफिया एजेंसी के लोग हैं वो ये कहते हैं कि ऐसा लगता है कि 2014 में जो चर्च गेट के पास धमाका हुआ था, काफी कुछ इस रामेश्वर कैफे के बाहर जो आईईडी ब्लास्ट हुआ, काफी कुछ उसमें समानता है।
Make no mistake, the IED was meticulously planted with the intent to cause harm. Despite the extensive CCTV coverage in the city, the individual responsible for this act of terror remains at large. These factors have prompted probe and intelligence agencies to strongly consider the involvement of a proficient terror module, possibly operating from beyond India's borders. While attention has turned to the known active cross-border terror module, believed to be led by Farhatullah Ghori, an Indian-born fugitive residing in Pakistan. Only through a comprehensive investigation can the truth be unveiled. With Arvind Ojha and Ankit Kumar in New Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
And India Today's Ankit Kumar is the one who pulled out that story. He's the one who put it together, providing the first open source intelligence clues of what this attack was really about. Ankit, 5 days on, no leads, at least that we know of. The National Investigation Agency has taken over the case. But from what you've looked at in these images of the chief suspect, the man believed to have planted that explosive device, shows that he was no amateur. He knew what he was doing, clearly trained in evasive tactics, wearing a cap, wearing a mask, and as you've reported in your story, Ankit, probably professionally trained in how to, not be captured so that he can be easily identified.
Well, Shiv, over past few days, me and my colleague Arvind Ojha, we have also spoken to some of the very credible old hands in the intelligence community. We have also analyzed the evidence that is available in the public domain.
Yes.
When the incident was first reported on Friday, there were initial indications that it could be an accident or a business rivalry or some local gang member doing their thing. At this point, we can actually rule those angles out. We are now being told by our sources that the probe is now moving towards a terror module that has all the telltale signs of a sophisticated anti-surveillance training.
Yeah.
Now, why do we say so? There are at least 5 separate CCTV footages that are now available in public domain showing the bomber.
Yeah.
Not once that bomber is seen turning his head either left or right. We are being told that this is not a coincidence. These are signs of a very well-trained operative who is fully aware that there are cameras, where are they placed, and what's the best angle to avoid facial detection. Remember, if in any Indian city you would want these CCTV cameras to be work on facial recognition softwares, it would be Bangalore, India's IT city. We are also given to understand that the phone device that the bomber is seen using may not actually have been in use and was used to mislead the investigators. Because phone surveillance is the first clue that any probe agency look for. These are some of the many subtle signs that indicate presence of a sophisticated terror cell that is not likely to be an organic and local.
And what you've what you've deduced from this very limited imagery and open source information, Ankit, is also very disturbing. Which is, not only is this man clearly a professional who knows what he was doing, but that it is possible that he is doing it either at the behest of, or with the training of, or at the instructions of a module that may be overseas, possibly in Pakistan.
That is one of the biggest concerns that all the officers that we have spoken to, they have expressed, because there are not very much active those kind of sophisticated scheduled those kind of terror kind of sleeper cells that are active in this country. It was the case few years back, but for past 7, 8, 9 years we have not seen those kind of incidents. There is one person, however, called Farhatullah Ghori, an original from Hyderabad, now lives in Pakistan, works very closely with ISI, and it is being suspected. It is too early, but it is suspected if there is one person who could pull this together, it could be that module working under the ISI, We don't know that yet because there is not enough evidence. That is why you have NIA issuing the picture, NIA asking for help from public, offering a bounty
Yes.
for any kind of clues. But what we are given to understand is that the person was not working alone. The person was also, we have also examined the crime scene evidence that was seen in the pictures, and we have matched the devices that was used in Mangaluru blast. And you know what is interesting is that the timer,
Yes.
it's a very common utility timer, one of those timers that we use in our water motors for starting the water motor in our societies. So those kind of daily utility items like 6-volt batteries, that is a very common pattern that is clearly visible between the 2022 Mangalore blast and 2024 Bengaluru blast. So intelligence agencies are looking at those
Right.
angles. Probe agencies are also looking at those angles.
Okay, very, very troubling layers and new leads. The first public clues from that information. And India Today assures you that what Ankit has given us today is only part one of what will be a constant investigation into what has happened. It's been 5 days. There are scant images of the bomber. It's absolutely clear that he's a professionally trained individual, and we will continue to track it. Ankit, thanks very much for the story and that perspective on this story. The cafe blast continues to be our big focus. Now we've got some breaking news coming in. And we've got breaking news coming in just hours before Prime Minister Modi lands in Jammu and Kashmir, his first trip since the abrogation of Article 370. A Pakistani ploy has been busted ahead of Narendra Modi touching down in Srinagar. An ISI social media toolkit to disrupt the Prime Minister's Srinagar visit has been discovered. Sources say the ISI is calling for a boycott of the Prime Minister's rally. Locals in Srinagar are apparently getting threatening calls from international numbers, threatening to harm their families if they attend Prime Minister Modi's rally in Srinagar tomorrow. Take a look.
लगातार सुबह से कई सारे लोगों को लैंडलाइन्स और मोबाइल फ़ोन्स पर कॉल आ रही है इंटरनेशनल नंबर से, जिसमें उनको कहा जा रहा है कि बाइकाट करें वो प्रधानमंत्री की रैली की जो कल होने वाली है। उस पर क्या आपका कहना है?
जी, आप बिल्कुल वजह फरमा रहे हैं। ऐसा मेरे को भी रिपोर्ट में आया और मेरे कुछ दोस्तों और रिश्तेदारों ने जो और हमारे पार्टी के वर्करों ने बोला कि उनके रिश्तेदारों को कॉल्स आई हैं इंटरनेशनल नंबर से। मैं इनसे ये कहा जा रहा है कि आप मोदी जी के प्रोग्राम में मत जाएं। तो मैं आपको साफ बताऊंगा कि दुश्मन ताकतें बौखला गई हैं। जिन लोगों से अपना घर संभाला नहीं जा रहा, जो लोग अपने ही लोगों को कैदों में डाल रहे हैं, घसीट कर लेते हैं, उनके साथ बदतमीजी करते हैं, उनकी मैशत ख़त्म करिए, रोज़गार नहीं दे पाते हैं, अपना सिस्टम, हेल्थ सिस्टम, एजुकेशन नहीं दे पाते हैं, जो खुद को नहीं संभालते हैं, वो अब इतने पागल और फ्रस्ट्रेटेड हो गए हैं कि वो हिंदुस्तान की तरक्की को देखकर, भारत की तरक्की को, वो भी मोदी जी की लीडरशिप में शानदार और ईमानदार और बहुत ही बेहतरीन आर्किटेक्ट जो है मोदी जी, उसकी लीडरशिप में इनसे देखा नहीं जाता। तो इनकी एक बहुत ही एक अहमकाना हरकत है।
Looks like Indian social media has already started hitting back to the Pakistani toolkit with Salam Modi ji, the #1 social media trend right now ahead of the Prime Minister's visit to Srinagar. Let's go to Ashraf Wani, our bureau chief in Jammu and Kashmir, joining us live. Ashraf, expected disruptions and toolkits from Pakistan, apparently you're being told, to try and create a mood before the Prime Minister lands in Srinagar. People getting threatening calls, etc.
Not the complaint what we personally received from many people in the Srinagar, but also, in fact, I myself got a call on the landline phone in the office, where from the international number with the starting ISD code of 44 came, and that was clearly the voice of the Khalistani handler, which is in the Canada, who was saying that everyone in the Kashmir should boycott the Prime Minister's rally scheduled few hours later in the day tomorrow. And in fact, the police has taken the consequence of that toolkit and has asked the people not to pick the calls, particularly coming from the international numbers. And this is not the first time when this kind of a system has been used by the Pakistani intelligence agency, but this is a kind of a way where they want
Yes.
to indulge into the affairs of Jammu and Kashmir, particularly after the abrogation of Article 370.
Thanks very much, Ashraf. So our own bureau chief, Ashraf, and his team receiving calls threatening them, asking them not to attend the rally by Prime Minister Modi in Srinagar tomorrow. Of course, Ashraf and his team will be there to cover it and to bring you aspects of what the Prime Minister says there. Now, moving on, in what would mark his first visit to Srinagar, to Kashmir, in fact, since the abrogation of Article 370 in August 2019. Prime Minister Modi will be landing in Srinagar tomorrow morning to unveil multiple development projects as well as address a big public rally at the Bakshi Stadium in Srinagar to strengthen what he calls the idea of Naya Kashmir. Take a look at this report.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi is visiting Kashmir on Thursday, his first trip to the valley since the abrogation of Article 370 in August 2019. The Prime Minister will attend the Viksit Bharat, Viksit Jammu Kashmir, a public meet at the Bakshi Stadium in Srinagar.
Behind me, this is one of the renovated Bakshi Stadiums, main venue in the heart of Srinagar city, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi is going to address a huge public rally on Thursday. The elaborate security arrangements had been made, special commandos had been deployed all across and around this Bakshi Stadium to make this rally of Prime Minister not only safe and secure, but also as it is expected that near about 2 lakh people are going to listen the Prime Minister here in the Bakshi Stadium of Srinagar.
Prime Minister Modi will be announcing a slew of development initiatives designed to bolster the agriculture, tourism and other employment sectors of Jammu and Kashmir.
जुनून और जज्बा कल से अब भारतीय जनता पार्टी के वर्कर्स और लीडर्स को देख रहे हैं कि साढ़े सड़क पे कोई झंडा, कोई बैनर, कोई चीज लगा रहा है और सारे श्रीनगर शहर को सजा रहा है। और जो 7 तारीख को जनाब नरेंद्र मोदी जी वारिद कश्मीर आ रहे हैं, एक जन सैलाब को वो खिताब करने जा रहे हैं।
Central to the day's agenda is the inauguration of the Holistic Agriculture Development Program, an initiative valued at 5,000 crore rupees. In a major boost to tourism sector, Prime Minister will launch 52 projects worth more than 1,400 crore rupees under the Swadesh Darshan and Prashad scheme. The PM will dedicate to the nation the project for integrated development of Hazrat Bal Shrine. He will also launch Dekho Apna Desh, People's Choice 2024 and Chalo India Global Diaspora campaign to boost tourism.
प्राइम मिनिस्टर मोदी साहब ने दिल खोलकर मुल्क का खजाना कश्मीर के लिए खोला है और उसी का नतीजा है कश्मीर में एम्स हॉस्पिटल, मेडिकल कॉलेजेस, रिंग रोड्स और कश्मीर टू कन्याकुमारी रेलवेज की कनेक्टिविटी, टनल्स, ये बड़े-बड़े काम आज कश्मीर में हो रहे हैं। कश्मीर में अमन, खुशहाली, भाईचारा, ये सब मोदी साहब की देन है।
Meanwhile, hashtag Salam Modi Ji is trending on social media ahead of Prime Minister's visit. Prime Minister Modi's significant visit to Srinagar is set to mark a new chapter in the region's journey towards prosperity. With Sunil G. Bhatt and Ashraf Wani in Srinagar, Bureau Report, India Today.
And my friend and colleague Pooja Shali joins me live tonight from Srinagar. Pooja is, of course, from Kashmir, so she's back home, and that's why you see that smile on her face. Pooja, exciting time. Prime Minister Modi's first visit to Srinagar after the abrogation of Article 370. The games have already begun. ISI has started doing what it does best. Indian social media has started reacting. So, Khela Hobe in Srinagar before the Prime Minister even lands. But big anticipation of his rally and his announcements tomorrow.
Well, I can tell you, Shiv, that the terror, the separatist sections wouldn't want to see what Srinagar or Kashmir largely looks today, because what it does look like would be a nightmare for the terrorists and separatists, and we hope that this situation continues. Now, of course, unlike the temperature in Delhi, which is warming up here, it's about 4 degrees and dipping. So that is, it's definitely a colder weather that I can tell you, but it's also significant moment for this valley. From the airport to my destination right now in the evening, Shiv, I can tell you the situation reflects change already. Earlier, I would see about every 10 to 50 meters, there would be a soldier deployed, there would be a Rakshak vehicle or other deployment that would be done. That has in fact reduced. Of course, tomorrow, the security will be heightened, no doubt about it, but you can see slowly and steadily phasing out where it is possible. The lights behind me, while Dal Lake, of course, is the biggest tourist international destination, but the infrastructure changes that you see, whether it's of bridges that have been built, the lights that have been set up, you see that on the route there are visible changes that have happened. And importantly, why is Prime Minister Modi coming tomorrow? Why didn't he come earlier after 2019? The reason was because, of course, the government also wanted to wait and ensure that the changes become visible by themselves. 5,000 rupees for agro economy that are going to be announced. The focus will be on agriculture, which many Kashmiris depend on, and eventually there will be, of course, a section that will not want tomorrow's success of a rally. That's why the threats you see. But I can see here that the Kashmiris are not only welcoming change, they would want this change and peace to continue. Shiv.
And Pooja, looking forward to your reports tomorrow. You're back home, so looking greatly forward to what you see, among the people, what the Prime Minister and his team say tomorrow. All eyes will be on Srinagar. So we'll see you tomorrow morning from Srinagar. Pooja will be bringing you all of that with the Naya Kashmir coverage from Srinagar live from tomorrow morning. Thanks, Pooja, for joining us with that. It's a wrap on India First. Coming up next is Elections Unlocked with Rajdeep Sardesai. Stay tuned.
डायरेक्ट प्लान
म्यूचुअल फंड स्कीम्स में खुद इन्वेस्ट करने का एक ऑप्शन है।
म्यूचुअल फंड्स खुद ही
सी जैसे मैंने फिट रहने के लिए ट्रेनर रखा है।
ये तो दिखता ही है भाई।
पर तू तो सेल्फ मेड है भाई।
वेल देख, मुझे फिटनेस की नॉलेज है तो आई मेड माय ओन ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम।
और तेरे ट्रेनर के पैसे भी बच गए।
हाँ
सेम विद डायरेक्ट प्लान। यहाँ मेरे कमीशन के पैसे बच गए।
सही है।
म्यूचुअल फंड निवेश बाजार जोखिमों के अधीन है। योजना से जुड़े सभी दस्तावेजों को ध्यान से पढ़ें।
एक क्या है, स्टेट पुलिस इज कंप्लीटली बायस्ड, उसको गिरफ्तार होने नहीं दे रही, दे आर नॉट हैंडिंग हिम ओवर। और सीबीआई की जो उन्होंने ऑर्डर किया कि इन्वेस्टिगेशन सीबीआई को दी जा रही है, उसके खिलाफ हु इज अपीलिंग टू द सुप्रीम कोर्ट? ये दिस इज अ वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग क्वेश्चन। नॉर्मली जो रेपिस्ट होता है और जिसके खिलाफ ये होता है, ही ट्राइज टू गो अप। No, it's not that person who's appealing. It's the state government which is coming to the Supreme Court. ये मैं पहली बार I'm coming across a case like this. And they're appearing to sue what? कि a man who, according to information in the public domain, सबको पता है इसने क्या किया वहां पे, कि उसको प्रोटेक्टिव कवर मिले। देखिए, मैं और ज्यादा नहीं कहना चाहता हूं। उनके जो बिहाफ पे वकील काउंसिल अपीयर कर रहे हैं, आई विल स्टिक टू द पोजीशन दैट ही इज अपीयरिंग ऑन बिहाफ ऑफ द स्टेट गवर्नमेंट, बट अपीयरिंग for this person. I'm not going to talk about his political affiliation, कौन सी पार्टी के लीडर हैं, etc. मैं उसमें नहीं पढ़ना चाहता हूं. But कुछ इंसानियत भी होती है. And a situation where women have agitated. ED officers have gone there again. So it's not only a complete breakdown in the law and order situation, but उनकी जो value system है, और ऐसे आदमी को स्टेट गवर्नमेंट कह रही है इसको मत ले जाइए. अभी सुप्रीम कोर्ट में क्या हुआ, व्हाट आई हैव सीन अवेलेबल इन द पब्लिक डोमेन, कि द मैटर वाज केम अप बिफोर जस्टिस संजीव खन्ना. उन्होंने तो ही सेड दैट इट शुड बी लिस्टेड इन फ्रंट ऑफ द चीफ फ्रॉम व्हाट एवर आई हैव सीन इन टर्म्स ऑफ लेटेस्ट इंफॉर्मेशन, और वहां पे अर्जेंट लिस्टिंग के लिए बोला गया है. बट एट दिस स्टेज ऑल्सो आई थिंक इट इज अ मैटर ऑफ great shame and highly condemnable that a state government allows this kind of an incident to take place. Then for 55 days, they don't allow him to be arrested. And then when he is produced, he comes there before the court, as he was saying, and still not handing him over. And investigation should not go to a central agency. So I had these few comments to make. I have a lot of material, but मुझे लगता है कि आप सब में इसके बारे नॉलेज लेवल मेरे से ज़्यादा ही होगा. बट दिस पर्टिकुलर एस्पेक्ट आई वांटेड टू कवर. आई विल बी हैप्पी टू टेक.
Prime Minister Modi officially kicked off BJP's election campaign in January in Kerala's Thrissur with a rally of over 2 lakh women. Over a month later, on 28th February, the Prime Minister was in Tamil Nadu, where he launched projects worth over 17,000 crore rupees and launched a fierce attack on the DMK. On Monday, the Prime Minister was back in Tamil Nadu's capital.
मैं DMK को बताना चाहता हूं, मोदी तमिलनाडु के विकास का पैसा आपको लूटने नहीं देगा.
It's clear that to achieve its target of 370 seats, the BJP is focusing big on the south. Earlier on Monday, the Prime Minister